raspy. These cold, gloomy winter days got me bumming out. What I would do for a little bit of sunshine just so we could soak it in for a few minutes. Ugh. Sun sure feels nice, doesn't it? Good tune. Perfect for the sun on this winter day. Look, it got burnt. That's right. Even an hour or two of direct sunlight on your precious houseplants, when they're not used to it, can cause them to get this sunburn. Just like, you know, on spring break when we went down to Florida and that first 2 hours of being in that full sun, we left the beach feeling like a fried lobster. The same thing really happens to plants. A similar feature that plants have, like us humans, is that, you know, if we can slowly acclimate ourselves to the sun, we won't get sunburnt, but rather we'll get sun tanned. A similar thing happens with plants. So they actually have the ability to create like their own personal sunscreen. But when you place them right into that hot scorching sun right away, the intensity of that sun and heat will actually cause the chlorophyll cells to become damaged and to break down, causing this sort of sunscald. Now, when this happens, there's no going back. You gotta cut it off. But if you are a smart gardener, if you're a patient gardener, what you need to do is you need to give them this chance to harden off, which basically means placing them outside in the sun. Now, this can be if it's a winter day, a spring day, or the beginning of summer when you're moving your plants outside for that long, warm summer season, you need to do so gradually. Placing them outside for maybe 30 minutes the first day, maybe 90 minutes the day after that, 2.5 hours after that. Doing so over the course of about 2 weeks, what will happen is that the plants will harden off. They'll create thicker cells that are able to absorb that sun's light without becoming damaged. And in the process, they actually have the ability to recognize the intensity of that sun, and it gives them a signal to start creating a certain protein that acts as like a sunscreen. And that allows them to stay out in the sun, absorbing that sun's energy and the sun rays without burning. But that process takes time. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to happen over the course of a couple weeks. So that's why you really need to be patient and do so gradually. And if you do so gradually like that, then your plants will be happy. They'll grow much faster because they do like being out in that sun. And you're not going to have to chop off a bunch of your plant because they got sun scalded. Now, if you're doing this, if you're trying to catch those little extra rays of sunlight in the winter or in the springtime, if you give it that direct sunlight, this plant I had out in the direct sunlight for 1 hour, and this happened. I was actually quite surprised that that happened, but it's a great opportunity to remind my fellow plant lovers and fellow gardeners what can happen. So the difference between being placed next to a window where the lighting is actually, the sun comes in and is actually filtered, versus when the sun is able to hit that plant directly is immense. It's just like if you're, standing by a sunny window, you're not likely going to get bronzed or burnt. And the same is true with our plants. Glass acts as a huge barrier, and the intensity is much, much less when they're behind the glass. So before you open your windows and before you open your patio doors to try to give your plants a little bit of extra sun energy this winter or spring or in the early summertime, remember how I burnt my little Aspie, and don't do it to your prized precious plants. It's not going to kill the plant, but it's definitely going to slow the process of growing and filling out, which is what we all want. So learn from me, learn from my mistakes rather than making your own. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Devin Wallin with Plant Vibrations. Stick around for more wonderful videos that I post every single week. I'll catch you later. Ciao.